That still wall which pressed in against him, he muttered.
The only difference between me and a telephone wire is that they patch a wire and bury a runner.
Bitterness marred his voice. For 3 months he had been at it, carrying orders, stamping alone across mountains, through angry yellow streams, down steep-sided silent ravines. And he was under orders to avoid trouble, to get his messages through. But God, what a relief it would have been to send Springfield lead into a Goonie's guts. Sometimes, when he crept alone through the sullen night, he almost went mad with the desire to fire a clip at the silence. Anything to break the tension before the tension broke him. Perhaps this time, when he got back to Company K, the top kick would let him stay around long enough to get himself back again. But Company K hardly knew him, and neither did 50-50 O'Brien, First Sergeant USMC. And if 50-50 O'Brien didn't even see him, then what chance did a fellow have in getting a break? 50-50 O'Brien. He'd like to know that man. 50-50 O'Brien was solid. He didn't let a thing like silence get him. 50-50 O'Brien was the toughest man in the regiment. Self-reliant, big-jawed, swashbuckling, with a killer's eyes. Pale, icy eyes that stared straight through you and out the other side and saw something you couldn't see. 50-50 O'Brien and his small black horse, the only black pony in the regiment, were always found in unexpected places. O'Brien had the idea that he himself could bring this guerrilla war to an end. A faraway click of a hoof, faint in all this stillness, came again to Winsmith's ears. He moved the rifle a fraction of an inch, glanced down to make certain that the safety was off. His pale, haggard eyes bored down through the leafy tunnel, and he crouched a little forward, waiting for he knew not what. The fact that something besides himself was moving in this vastness hardened him, made him forget the silence for a moment. Something was moving in the steamy heat and silence, and it might spell danger. He could hear the hoofs more distinctly. He could even see a shadow moving through the patterns of sun upon the path. Then he wanted to shout with relief. A black pony was coming toward him, and a black pony meant O'Brien. Maybe he'd have company during the last 10 miles. He started to call out a greeting, but the word clung in his throat, a sodden lump. O'Brien was not on the horse. The rider wore a straw hat, a ragged white shirt, a pair of leather puttees. A Goonie on the black horse. Where was O'Brien? A creak of leather and a startled wheeze from the pony, a swift white flash of amazed eyes, the blur of a hand moving to the boot for a mountain gun. Winsmith dropped down and the shot screamed over his head. The rifle jolted his shoulder, shaking the jungle with its crash. The native jerked in the saddle, clawed at the horn, and came sliding out. The black horse, nostrils flared, charged up the trail toward Winsmith. He snatched at the bridle, caught it, and dragged the pony to a snorting stop. Very slowly, very watchfully, he went down the red clay path toward the sprawled lump of white. For an instant, he was afraid he had missed and killed the native, but the pale flicker of an eyelid gave him assurance. He knelt down and propped the Goonie up against a tree trunk.
What's the idea?
Said Winsmith.
¿Qué pasó?
Yankee!
Spat the Goonie in a spray of blood.
¿De dónde viene el caballo?
Demanded Smith.
And where is the Yankee who wrote it?
The sullen brown jaw was tightly set. The eyes were flaring with anger.
¿Quién sabe?
You know, and you're going to tell me about it. If you don't, I'll...
He felt in the pockets of his soggy shirt and found a box of matches. He struck one and looked at the Goonie's feet. Then he knelt and began to remove a muddy leather puttee.
No!
Screamed the native.
No! I have heard what you do! I know you would torture me!
That's better,
said Smith, and put the matches back in his pocket.
Where is this Yankee?
We wounded him. He is now on his way to our camp.
What for?
He knows much. He is a great man. We would break him with certain means and obtain much knowledge.